Really excited for today, with Haven and Barry officially joining the family. A lot of great things are ahead for both of their careers. And, we addressed a size issue, needing to add that with Haven at 6'6". She's also an Illinois kid, so we love that. And I think she's someone that has a ton of upside. Really, the sky's the limit for her. She's someone that obviously has a size. She can move. She has some range to 15 to 17 feet, and capability to shoot the three. And she works. And she also really wants to be at Illinois, which I think is obviously key, especially for our in-state kids. And I think she's someone that maybe some people didn't recruit as hard, but I think she can end up being a very, very good player in our league. And Barry Wallace, obviously, I've known the Wallaces for a long time. I recruited their younger. The first home visit I did, my first day on the job as a Dayton head coach, was to Barry's younger sister, Barry, who went on, or Bexley. All their names start with a B. I messed up. Bexley, who went on to go to Penn State. So I've known the family for a long, long time, and just great people. And we've been recruiting her for a long time. And Barry's someone that just continually gets better. And now she's a ranked 20 in the country. She's has a great potential to be a McDonald's All-American. And she's someone that can score at all three levels, and with her size is going to create a lot of mismatches. And she's just a great kid, like along with Haven. They're great kids. They're perfect for our culture, and they work really, really hard. And that's something that, we're just not going to compromise on in our recruiting is kids that are good people, but also work really, really hard and have a passion for this game. So I could not be more excited about these two. And I know that they're going to have, amazing careers here. And I'm excited to get them here on campus and get working with them.
Shauna, recognizing playing time's never given, it's earned. What's your conversation with players like this, especially as they maybe look at your roster and anticipate who may be back or not and what their goals are?
Yeah, I think every class, every year, every player, it's different because there you have to look at rosters and see, and it may help you get kids, and it may hurt you and not get some kids because they see, oh shoot, I don't want to play behind, 3 seniors or 2 seniors or whatever it is. So it can help and hurt in recruiting. With this class, the thing that I actually really loved about both of them is not one time did playing time come into a conversation. And that leads me to believe that they believe in themselves and they're going to bet on themselves, and they want to really be here, and they're great team players that they're going to come and they're going to work and trust their own skill set and work ethic so they can continue to get better. So we didn't have a ton of those conversations with either of them. But if you look at it next year, if we have our COVID kids come back, Hobby's gone anyways, and KB would be a senior, and then Bryn would be a senior, and that 4th spot that Barry could play for and or a wing. So there's a lot of opportunity there in those positions, and especially in that class.
Just, I guess, when you kind of like big picture where you're at right now after one season, just the sales pitch that you're able to do after this past season, just how much easier is that when you're trying to, sell recruits on this program and to bring in a top 20 recruit like Barry as well?
Yeah, I never want to say easy and recruiting in the same sentence, but you got to win a little bit, right? You guys know that in order to be able to sell what I think we're unique at in terms of our culture and in terms of here at Illinois and what we have to offer in terms of education, facilities, resources, support. So the winning kind of gets you in the door a little bit more. But someone like a Barry, again, I think what their family is about was relationships, and we've known them for a long time. They've trusted us. They've seen our product, and followed it at Dayton for all those years. So I think that was a little bit different where with our kids that we're talking about having signed. But in recruiting in general, last year helped us a lot. It helped us a lot. It just has. But now, like I've said in the past too, we got to get to the finish line, and we got to be able to get them to commit and get them to sign, because it's all good and it's great and it sounds good, but it's really, really hard to get them to say, yes, I'm coming there. And that's where we've made a lot of ground in a short time, but we're still striving for more. But I'm excited. We're definitely on the right path. No doubt about it. And now also, Joe, to go on that, getting someone, you get a top 20 kid. Now they've played with all those top kids. So now they know, Barry knows all those guys. So now she's going to start recruiting. And that's where you can really get to that next level when your players are the ones really recruiting and helping you out.
So, Coach, you brought up Haven, and obviously that's your first in-state commit. When you look ahead to future classes, how important is it to have that piece in place?
I've said it since day one. I want in-state kids to have the dream to play and put on the Illinois jersey. I mean, there's no doubt. And we've worked really hard. And people, you see the end result that maybe we haven't signed one of the top whatever kids. Believe me, I can tell you, we have worked tirelessly and built a lot of relationships with some of those guys, and we didn't get them. And yeah, it sucks to come in 2 or 3, right? But again, I have to have faith in our process, and I have to trust the process. And I know we're gonna, and Haven's a great start, because even though we all get caught up in rankings, and they're valid in a lot of situations, but you also got to trust your eye and trust, what fits. And I think Haven's one of those players. But we're going to continue to keep, we're knocking. We're going to break the wall down, and we're going to get some of those top in-state kids to stay here. I know that it may take some time, but we got to trust it. And Haven, I'm so excited that she's going to be that first person to be like, hey, I'm staying home, and make it the cool thing to do. And she absolutely loves this place. And that's what matters to me. It's about the people that want to be here. And, if we play you now and you're on the other side, we want to beat you. So.
Gradually taking those steps over her career. Like, what would you see early that you thought maybe she had the potential to have those growth points?
She's someone you just got to continue to watch. Obviously, you see her right away and you see size, and then you got to just keep watching. Sometimes, as college coaches and recruiting, it's interesting how a lot of people recruit, but we want to really evaluate. So, I went up there a ton last season just to watch her in high school and then watch her, throughout the summer in her AAU team. And the more I watched her, the more I really believed as someone, because if you're 6'6" and you're completely like there, you're number 1 or 2 player in the country, right? Let's just be honest about it. So when you're recruiting bigs, it's different than recruiting guards. You got to really evaluate and see, do they have the things that are important to your program and your system and your culture, and then can you make them better? So I like some of the intangibles. Again, can catch the ball, has good hands, can run the floor at her size. She can run. She works really, really hard, and she's really, really coachable and wants to be great. So all those things with the big, I'm gonna take that and trust and bet on ourselves and our staff to develop her.
With Barry and just other recruits that you've had, you've developed relationships with, or maybe the first time you didn't get them, but then the second time you got. Just what does that process kind of look like as you try to build those things? And, do you maybe think, maybe we don't get them this time, but we can get them down the road on something along those lines?
Yeah, I think I have a higher percentage in the second time around. Than I don't know. That's not good though. I don't know. Is it good or is it bad? Right? But it's true. Like that was also at Dayton when we lost some kids because they wanted a Power 5. But I think who we are at our core, we're built on relationships, and we really get to know kids and their families. So then, like a hobby, who again we had to recruit for, she wants to go somewhere for her last year, then we're in that door right away. So yeah, and my philosophy has always been where it's really hard when a kid calls and tells you no, and it's really hard when the kid cries and tells you no, because there's something there. And I've had past year I had multiple crying no's. So that doesn't make me feel any better, but you've done what you can do. There had to be some outside other factors, right? And I really believe we were at places where we needed to be with some of those kids. So if something doesn't work out with them, I always leave it in a good spot, and you never burn a bridge because they could want to come here. And I love transfers because they've been somewhere else, and then they usually really appreciate where they're at the second time.
Seems like just maybe every season there's more players with maybe Haven size and maybe growing skill as well to go with that. I mean, do you see that as a trend where maybe just the game's getting a little bigger?
I do. I think, you see it. Players are getting bigger. Players are getting more athletic. You have more women dunking. You have more, women doing a lot of different things. And that's what's making our game so great now. And I think that's where there's so much visibility and publicity with it, and the game's better. So I think it's trending all in the right direction. But yeah, the size is definitely getting. Kids are getting bigger. I don't know what's going on, but kids are getting bigger, and that's a great thing as a basketball coach. So we'll take it.
And I don't know, I know relationships are really important for you guys on the trail, but have you found your recruiting footprint at all expand over the last 16 months? And if so, are there areas that you've targeted, as obviously the state being here would probably be one, but have you broadened out at all there?
Yeah, we're recruiting, across the country. And, a lot of those, I think you always recruit your breadbasket, which is, obviously Illinois, and then our touching states and what's home for you. So you got to recruit that extremely hard. But then, like a kid from Ohio, like a Barry, I mean, that was a prior relationship. We obviously have really good connections and good relationships when you've been in a state for 9 years. So we'll keep recruiting Ohio really hard. Adding, like, Calamity has a lot of experience all over the country with her spending time out west, and now obviously adding Britt, who's been out west a lot. She brings in some different connections and relationships with coaches that maybe I don't even know them or didn't have that. So now they're introducing that to me, and so it kind of all works like that. But we're going to go wherever we can to get the talent that we need if they fit us. But I think Britt's really helped in that too, just kind of forging some new relationships.
Just one more. I know you talked about the importance of last year, but is there a moment maybe that you're out on the trail in the summer that through conversations with recruits or parents or coaches that you felt kind of all of that come to reality?
That's a good question. There's been a lot of different moments that, at times where you feel like, are we making traction? Are we when some things happen, you're like, yeah, we are. We are. Even comments by, colleagues or by recruits, or their parents, little things, or we offer a kid, now you see who offers right after. I think that's one of the greatest compliments. It's like, oh, that's interesting, and you see kind of a little trend of it. So I think that there's a lot of different moments that have really come through with that. And the most thing that I value is when parents, when they make comments about certain things, about how we do things, and that's what means a lot to me. So we're getting there.
Not to say you weren't in the mix for kids like Barry at Dayton, but you've kind of implied the new job and the new league and everything that goes with that. Did that open doors for you immediately with kids that you would have loved to have had at Dayton, but probably would have crossed off?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it does. So, when you play in the Big Ten and in one of the best women's basketball leagues in the country, you can, and then you have a staff, first off, you won a little bit, so people respect what we did, I think, at a high level. And we have a staff that's very respected, so they can reach out to their people. And now you come, this is the thing, we're always like, we need to get them here. Once we get them here, everything usually everyone loves it. And if we can get them here and see everything, the facilities, meet the people, how we go about our visits, like the interaction, the really having them with our team and that family approach, I think has even bumped us up the list on some of those where we got them here. And then I'll always ask them, I'm like, what did you think? Is it what you thought? Is it? And almost, I think every time I've ever asked that, oh my gosh, it's so much more. Like, it's so much more than I thought it would be. So I think we can get in the door, and then if we can get them here, I think they really can see, all the really opportunities they could have here.
How much does playing style kind of play into your recruiting pitch? Kids want to play fast, so they want to shoot threes, and you shoot threes and you play fast. So.
it's something that we really push. First off, we're not going to recruit someone that doesn't fit how we play, but we really try to stress it with players because every player says they want to play fast. Everyone says, oh, I want to play up tempo, this and that. So I'm like, okay, I always try to flip it and like, you need to do your research to see who really does play fast, because as coaches, we all say we want to play fast too. And we're going to play fast, we're going to play free, we're going to do this, but like do the research and really look at who's doing that, who has been doing that, and then who has had success doing that. So depending on who we're recruiting, we'll just use some of those. We talk style, fit all the time. It works sometimes, and with someone like a Barry, that was a big piece because her dad's a coach, and it was a big piece that he knew how we played. He'd seen it for multiple years. And he really was firm about believing this is, she fits here and she can excel in this system. So I think that was a big key in her decision too.